In this video, we're going to show you how to send yourself a text message after getting a form submission from your website. Let's dive in. Okay, so on the Christensen Group website, we have a place where people can fill out a form if they need help with their insurance, their commercial insurance, employee benefits, personal insurance, etc. Now, what typically happens with a website is when someone submits a form, it goes into a database and then you're notified by email that a form has been submitted. And that's great. However, I want to know about that quicker, because the sooner that I'm able to respond to that form submission, the more likely I am to get in touch with the person and catch them in the state of mind where they're still thinking about insurance. If I wait a week or wait multiple days, the chances that they're going to still be thinking about that or have that top of mind decrease substantially. So really, we want to follow up with them as quickly as possible. And I'm not checking my email all the time, but what I am checking is my text messages. If a text message comes in, I'm generally checking it quicker than my email. So what I have set up is a little zap with Zapier, a way for a text message to be sent to me once this form is submitted through the website. So let's take a look at that. This website is built in Webflow, but I'm going to be using Webflow and Zapier. And Zapier actually has a built-in Zap that will send a text message. So let's jump over to Zapier and take a look at how we're going to set this up. Okay, so here I am inside of Zapier. If you're not familiar with Zapier, it's a tool that helps you automate and create workflows by connecting the tools that you use on the internet. So you have a trigger, and then you have things that happen downstream from that trigger. In our case, our trigger is a Webflow form submission, and then we are going to send an SMS. There's a lot of resources on the internet about Zapier, so we won't get too much into it now. But basically, you want to navigate to your Zaps, and then we are going to create a new Zap. Now, I have already created a lot of Zaps with Webflow and with this SMS service, so I'm not going to need to authenticate and connect Webflow to Zapier. I've done that, but if this is your first time, you will need to authenticate each tool that you use inside of Zapier so that Zapier has the authority to go and do things on your behalf. So I'm going to name my Zap. Let's call this new form submission. Okay, so I've got my new form submission Zap named. I'm looking for Webflow because my trigger, the thing that's going to start this whole thing, is a Webflow form submission. So my event is going to be a form submission. Continue with that. Choose your Webflow account. I've got a bunch of different sites and accounts and things. So choose the proper Webflow account. Choose the site that you want to be listening to. So which site are we going to be listening for that form submission? And then which form in particular are we listening to? I have built my Webflow site so that I have one form that is repeated throughout the whole site, which is really nice because now I just need to listen to one form when I'm setting up this Zap. If you have set up multiple forms across tons of different pages and they have different IDs and different names and different purposes, you will need to set up a new Zap for each one of those forms if you want to be recreating this and getting text messages for each one of those form submissions. So I've got my form submission. I'm going to test my trigger. As you can see, I've blurred some of it out, but you just need to have one form submission already in Webflow in order for it to pull through. So if you haven't built or submitted any form data yet, if you're still in development, go submit one form and then this should work for you. Okay, so I've got my trigger set up. We've got our form submission. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for SMS. And this is an app that's actually baked inside of Zapier. It comes from Zapier. This app is good if you want to send an SMS to one number. In this case, I'm sending it to myself. And the reason that it sends to one number is because what they're going to do is they're actually, to authenticate this account, you're going to put in a phone number. They're going to send a code to that phone number, and then you resubmit that code so that they now know, oh, you have control over this phone number. So you need to have access to the phone number that you're trying to send the text message to. If you want to be sending text messages to other people or to a number that was submitted in a form, you need to use a different service like Twilio. Some of these might also work. I haven't used any of these, but other services will allow you to send to other people. SMS by Zapier will allow you to send messages to a number that you have control of. So I'm going to choose SMS by Zapier. I want my action to be send an SMS. And now I am going to choose my SMS by Zapier. I'm going to blur this out because it is my phone number, but choose your SMS by Zapier account. Once you've authenticated, you've submitted the code, that's going to show up here for you. So now we're going to set up our action. The from number, I don't really care about because it's sending to my phone. If you wanted to set up a custom from number or anything like that, this is where you would set that. It's doesn't matter to me though, because I can read the text message. So I don't actually have that filled in for me. And now I'm just going to build out my message. So this is going to be a new form submission. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the name and email. Now, this message is more of a nudge for me. This isn't where I need everything to come in. And it's a nudge because I just want to be notified that a new lead came in. I don't necessarily need all the information. I'm going to go somewhere else to look at all the information. So this is a way for me to just see, hey, you got a new lead. You need to do something with it. Or if it looks suspicious, if it looks like it's not legitimate, then I can ignore it. But this isn't a place for me to get all of the information. There's actually a limit on how much you can send through an SMS. So a message with more than 153 characters will be truncated. It tells you that right here. So don't get too long-winded here. This is mainly just a nudge for me. If you're sending this to someone else, also you'll want to keep it short because SMSs get cut off. So build out your message, and then after your message is set up, you can test and continue. SMS was just sent, and now I can look and I can see that I did get a form submission on my text message. So that all came through. So that's now working. If I want to, now I could turn on my Zap, and every time a form is being submitted on the website, I will get a text message. So that is our simple two-step Zap. We've got a trigger from Webflow and an action from the SMS. If you wanted to actually send this data, you could put another step in here where maybe you're sending your data and saving it in Airtable, or you're sending it to Salesforce or HubSpot. You're sending it somewhere, and then you're sending yourself a text message. So that's an option too. To keep in mind is that you can really take this as far as you want, but hopefully that helps and you're able to set up your Zap. So hopefully you found that tutorial helpful and your eyes have been open to the ways that you can use text messaging to speed up your process and increase your efficiencies. So with that, thanks for watching, and we will see you at the next tutorial.